There, I'm Christina Johnson, a transformational nutrition coach and the owner of Christina Johnson Wellness. And today we are going to talk about the two different types of hunger. So, this is a little bit different way to think about hunger, and it just might show you one of the reasons why it's so hard to lose weight and actually keep it off. And honestly, most diets ignore the topic of hunger completely, they don't even address it. And I think that's one of the reasons why so many diets just don't work. And so, what I want to do today is just to explain what these two different types of hunger are. And then I'll give you 4 different clues that will help you figure out which type of hunger you're experiencing in the moment. Because the truth is, you'll experience both of these types of hunger at different times during the day. And then at the end, I have a fun little experiment for you to try so that you can help to try and figure out and better understand which of the two types of hunger you're experiencing in the moment. So stay tuned, I've got all that coming. But first, I also want to let you know that I put together a new resource that will help you better understand why you want to eat when you're not actually hungry. And so I'll tell you more about that at the end, but it's called Which Type of Nighttime Snacker You Are. And you definitely want to grab it because it's going to shed a lot of light on why you're eating when you're not hungry. So it's going to give you some new insights and help you to get that nighttime snacking in particular under control. So go to ChristinaJohnsonWellness.com/types. I'll put the link in the comments. Go there and I will send that to you for free. And I'll tell you a little bit more about it at the end. But let's dive into today's topic. So before I get started, I would love to hear from you because when I'm working with clients, what I find is that some clients feel like they just never feel hungry at all. So they feel like they just are eating all day long. They're kind of grazing constantly. And so when we start talking about what hunger feels like to them, they really don't know because they don't usually let themselves get hungry. But then I have other people who find that, they maybe get so busy during the day that they wait too long to eat and then they're famished by the end of the night and all they want to do is eat anything in sight. So I'm curious, let me know in the comments, how often do you actually feel hungry? So do you feel hunger every single day? Do you never feel hungry or somewhere in the between? So let me know in the comments if you actually experience hunger or not. Okay, so here we go. Let's get started. So as I said, we really need to understand these two different types of hunger because it is probably one of the biggest things that is keeping you from keeping the extra weight off and stopping you from just maintaining that healthy weight for your body. And it could even be why, even if you're eating pretty healthy and eating healthy foods, why you might not be losing weight like you think you should be able to. So here are the two types of hunger. Number one, we have physical hunger. So physical hunger is when your body is actually low on energy, you're low on calories, and your body needs food for fuel. So that's physical hunger. But then we also have what I refer to as emotional hunger. So these are the times where you just want something to eat. So those times like after dinner where something sweet just sounds kind of good, or maybe you just really kind of want some chips or some cookies or ice cream at the end of the day. Maybe somebody offers you something and it just looks really good and you want to eat. So all of those times where you want to eat, that's more of that emotional hunger. And so sometimes in the moment, it can be hard to tell the difference between whether or not something is physical hunger or emotional hunger. Sometimes it's obvious, but a lot of times it's kind of murky. So I want to give you 4 clues that will help you figure out whether what you're feeling is physical or emotional hunger. And I think it's really important to start paying attention to these different types of hunger. So number 1 is how it feels in your body. So for example, when you're actually physically hungry, for me, I check in with my stomach and my stomach feels empty. There's just like, I can feel it in my stomach that I'm actually physically hungry. Sometimes some people feel it more in their throat or in different places, but usually you can tell in your body that there's just this emptiness and you need to eat. If you wait too long and you're too physically hungry, then maybe you're getting lightheaded or nauseous. And sometimes there's those low blood sugar symptoms as well. So that's physical hunger. But then emotional hunger, stems from a couple different things. Sometimes it's more just a thought in your head, like it's that thought, I just want something to eat. So sometimes emotional hunger takes place more in your head than anywhere else. But also I notice for me and a lot of my clients, sometimes it's more of, like a tightness in your chest. You're feeling anxious and that's making you want to eat. Or maybe it's coming across as just like this antsiness or just this like restless kind of feeling. And that's what's creating that thought that you want to eat. So that's the first clue, is really paying attention to how it's coming across in your body, because physical hunger will feel different than emotional hunger. The second clue is timing. So if you think about it, physical hunger usually comes in waves. So what I mean by that is you might start to feel like, oh yeah, I'm starting to get hungry. It's about lunchtime. But maybe you start to get hungry and then it kind of backs off a little bit. And then you start to get hungry again and it backs off a little more until finally you realize, yeah, I need to eat. I'm actually hungry. So that's how physical hunger behaves. It comes in waves, it comes and goes until finally it gets to the point where you know you need to eat. Now, for a lot of people, emotional hunger comes on like that. It is all of a sudden you have that thought like, oh, I need to eat now. And usually, it comes on, and clue number 3 is the urgency. So emotional hunger usually tends to feel more urgent. So you want to eat something and you want it now. You want that bowl of ice cream and you want it now. You don't want it in an hour or tomorrow. You want it that day. Whereas physical hunger doesn't always feel so urgent. Physical hunger is not an emergency. You can wait a little bit to eat, especially if your blood sugar levels are stable. So physical hunger, because it's coming and going, you can usually wait a little bit to eat, but emotional hunger usually feels more urgent. And then the final clue number 4, is to look at what is sounding good to you in the moment. So I love to ask myself, okay, if I'm actually hungry now, would some chicken and a salad or some broccoli, would that take care of my hunger? If it would, then that's a clue that you are actually physically hungry and your body needs food. But if it's one specific thing that is sounding good to you, or if, like healthy food doesn't sound good, if healthy food like the chicken, the broccoli, the salad, if that's not going to satisfy the hunger, then most likely it's probably an emotional hunger. So oftentimes when you're emotionally hungry, you want something specific. It's oftentimes for something sweet or fatty or salty or full of carbs. It's usually something specific that you're looking for that's going to satisfy that hunger. So those are 4 different ways to kind of figure out in the moment if what you're experiencing is physical or emotional hunger. So quick recap. We've got how it's feeling in your body, so where you're feeling that hunger. 2 is the timing. Is it coming on all of a sudden or coming on slowly? Number 3 is the urgency, like do you need to eat now or not? And number 4 is what's sounding good to you. So those are 4 clues to help you figure out if what you're experiencing is actual physical hunger or emotional hunger. And, I'll be honest, a lot of people just aren't aware in the moment of the difference between physical and emotional hunger. And really, that's often because we often get hungry or think we're hungry and then we immediately eat. It's like this automatic reaction. You think you want food, so you eat immediately. And we never take time to stop and pause and ask ourselves, am I actually hungry? And so the key, here's kind of some tips for you on how to use this information to actually help you lose weight and keep it off. So my biggest tip for you is to become more aware of when you're experiencing physical versus emotional hunger. But then also, we need to just start questioning. As soon as you think that you want to eat, just stop and ask yourself, okay, am I actually physically hungry right now? If you are, great, go ahead and eat. But if you're not physically hungry, then you might want to stop and take a break and just think about, why do you want to eat? And so that's where the resource that I mentioned at the beginning, my Which Type of Nighttime Snacker Are You, that guidebook could really help come in handy and give you some ideas on some of the reasons why you might want to eat when you're not actually hungry. So I encourage you to grab that, because that'll help you start figuring this out a little bit more. So that's at ChristinaJohnsonWellness.com/types, and the link will be in the comments. So that's what we need to do. We need to become more aware, figure out what does emotional hunger and physical hunger feel like, and then in the moment be able to stop and pause and figure out why you actually want to eat. So here's my little challenge for you to really better understand this. I would encourage you to choose a day, maybe a Saturday, for example, or a Sunday, where you are not going to eat until after you are physically hungry. So let's say, for example, you choose this coming Saturday and you're not going to eat at all, and you're just going to wait and see what it feels like to be hungry. Now, one little caveat here is only do this if it feels safe and appropriate for your body. So if you know your blood sugar levels are up and down, if you get sick if you wait too long to eat, this may not be an appropriate challenge for you. So, little caveat there. But for the rest of you, what I want you to do is to just wake up and not eat and just pay attention to how you feel. So, as the time goes on, maybe it takes you only an hour or two to start feeling hungry. Maybe it takes you 4 or 5 hours to start feeling hungry. But once you think you're hungry, just stop for a minute and like turn inward. Actually think about, okay, how is this feeling in my body? Is the hunger feeling like it's in my stomach? Is it an emptiness? Is it more of an anxiousness? What is going on? And the goal here is to figure out, what does physical hunger truly feel like? And then once you think you might be hungry, just wait another half hour, an hour, and just pay attention to, does the hunger like subside a little bit and then get bigger? Does it just increase like continually? What happens if you drink a glass of water? Does the hunger go away a little bit then? And so the goal is just to take some time to pay attention to what hunger feels like in your body. And that way you'll be able to start just being able to discern better whether or not you're experiencing physical hunger or emotional hunger in the moment. Okay, does that make sense? So I would love for you to take this challenge. Let me know in the comments if you accept this challenge and if you're going to give it a try. And then I would also love for you to come back here after you do it and let me know, what did you learn about yourself by taking this challenge? Lastly, before I wrap up, make sure that you grab my Which Type of Nighttime Snacker Guide Are You? So it's just a little guidebook. It's like 5 or 10 minutes to go through, but you'll read through 8 different types of nighttime snackers. And so you'll figure out, are you a Hungry Harriet? Are you a Bright Spot Betty? Are you a Soothe Me Sally? And so by figuring out which type of nighttime snackers you relate to the most, that will shed some insight on some of the reasons why you eat when you're not actually hungry. And this is, I believe, one of the biggest steps you can take to start cutting back overeating so that it's easier to lose weight and to keep the weight off for good. I truly believe most diets don't work because we're not dealing with both types of hunger. We're not really understanding why we eat when we're not actually hungry. And of course, if you need any assistance with this at all, this is one of the things I specialize in and work in great detail with all of my clients. So please feel free to reach out if you would like some more personalized guidance and support with better understanding why you eat so that you can get your eating under control and lose weight for good. So if you have any questions at all, feel free to put them in the comments. And otherwise, I will see you again next week. Bye for now.